Pathway Studios in Johnston proper. You are live from the path.
Holy Ghost, work for the sun.
That's not approved. Hey, you're listening to Live from the Path.
Yep.
Coming at you from Johnson proper. It's good to see you tonight.
Hey.
Who was singing though?
It was me.
That's
And
not,
me.
That's not approved.
It was dead on.
Okay.
It was great.
It's a fruit of the spirit.
I was right next to it.
Here's what's going on.
I remember reading about that one.
You're listening to Live from the Path. We're broadcasting live at livefromthepath.org. I hope you're hanging out on the chat. If not, if you're on 99.3 KTIA, thanks for listening. But you really should join the online show. It's time to hit, light a candle, hop out of the dark ages, hit the internet broadcast.
It's good for you.
It's good fun. There's a live chat so you guys can chat along and with the show, make derogatory remarks. Mike, did you go back and listen to the podcast from last week?
I did. I heard there was some dissent.
No, did you hear like that 13-year-old girl that was harassing us on YouTube and said the show was terrible?
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was kind of funny.
It was kind of funny. Did you watch the video?
No, I didn't see it.
It's pretty funny. Her channel has better hits than we get.
As does most channels.
All right, so here's the deal. Here's what we got going on this week. So we're gonna do some advice on Dear Life from the Path. It's a staple. People like the world is people are having a rough time. Mike.
There's some steamy ones in there.
I think it's because we give such good advice. They keep writing back for more.
Either that or people won't
They
listen
keep
to
messing
Jesus.
up so that we can help
guessing
them.
it's more like,
They're not listening.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know that it's our honest word that's helping change their ways. I feel like they're ignoring Jesus, and it's causing problems. That's why I feel like you can't clean up the garbage downstream. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep the garbage out to start. I think that's where they're falling astray, but we'll see. The first couple I read were they might be a little heavy, but I think we're going to plow through them.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna do advice on Dear Life from the Path. Mike has some Pope style advice.
I plan on talking most of the show, to be honest with you.
I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah. I kind of got and Jesus tends to do this to me through my kids most often. But I've learned some valuable lessons from my children this week, and that's going to be part of the Pope style advice.
Okay, cool enough. John Boova's got some. He's working on some knock jokes for Halloween, and he wants to try a couple out, so he's going to do that a little later in the show. Also, I'm going to revive. So here's the deal. It's been a few. I want to say like 6 or 8 months since we've done this. But I want to know how well you know your incorrect end of times predictions. Because here's the deal. Everyone that's ever predicted the end of the world has been incorrect. They've failed. So you might as well you need to be able to see one coming.
Yeah.
So when some guy goes, here's what I think is going to happen, it's important that you be able to recognize that you, A, don't know, and neither does that guy, but you see the characteristics. So we're going to run through a quiz. I got 5 questions. See if you can pick out some truths about people that have predicted the end of the world.
I feel like I'm going to be awesome at this game.
I'm feeling good. I'm already feeling good. I'm spending the prize money right now.
Also, in studio, we have a lovely guest. This is Kristin Boscaljon. Hello.
Hello.
So here's the deal. Kristin lives a wild lifestyle.
Crazy.
She hops the world.
A globetrotter.
She is. She's a globetrotter.
I literally trot.
Yeah.
I've done that once. I got made fun of.
Video at 9.
By me.
But has a very, very interesting story about basically what God's been doing in her life and how He's been providing for that. So actually, let's talk a little bit about that. So what's the organization that you're with now?
With YWAM, it stands for Youth with a Mission. It's a global international missions organization that have bases all over the U.S., all over the world.
So how did you get involved with them?
I got tricked by God.
Would you like some candy?
He tends to do that.
I didn't know he dealt in
that a lot.
candy.
That's how I became friends with Boova.
Yeah. Hey man, I got a Snickers.
I got conned by a talking donkey. Okay, so tell me more about that. What do you mean?
Well, yeah, I started in 2009 with them. They have an entry level thing that you do whenever you're with YWAM. It's called Discipleship Training Course, and it's 6 months long. So you do 6 months or 3 months of training, and then 3 months of like a outreach, like a long missions trip, basically. So I did that back in 2009, and then went and did my own thing for a while, and then kind of got called back just recently. Last November, I moved back to Hawaii, where I'm based out of. Yeah.
Well, the Lord never calls me to Hawaii.
No.
Well,
Seriously.
No.
I've asked him to. Yeah, God, there's a lot of Hawaiians.
Yeah, exactly. Lord, it's your call and where you want me to go, but Hawaii is really nice this time of year, so if you could
Well,
move me there, that'd be awesome.
There's a lot of risks. I mean, you get sunburnt and I mean, not a lot of shade.
Sometimes the beach and
so
the sand is hot.
Yeah, what are we talking about? I would hate Hawaii. Can we go to Alaska?
get all that water in your ear. And
Sometimes the pagan smell sticks to you.
I smell like
It's a
sinner.
very spiritualist area, though.
oh, very much.
I mean, there definitely is a need. Yeah.
But the base that I'm at is it's one of the biggest YWAM bases. The other is there's one in Perth that's pretty big, and one in Tyler, Texas, actually. But the Kona one in Hawaii is pretty big, and so it's really a training organization. But it's really a unique experience because there's, 20, 30, 40 nations represented at any time on the campus, all coming to be trained to do missions and be sent out. So it's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That's
So
Yeah.
it's really awesome.
Is there an age limit? Am I beyond?
No, it's also called youthful with a mission. So if you're young at heart, you're also qualified.
Dan, you're out.
They recently shut down geezers with mission because of the high medical insurance costs.
Medical accommodations were getting way crazy.
I've seen Dan in an A shirt. I would say
I'm ready. I'm ready for the beach.
he's prepared.
Let's do this.
So how many people are at the YWAM base? So you said you gave me like the countries, but I mean, is it
Yeah.
hundreds of folks?
It's it changes every 3 months because people are constantly coming in and out, but it ranges anywhere from 500 to 800 people at a time.
It's like a service department, for missionaries. Like people call, it's like, hey, we need a missionary. Okay, I got Bob in your area. We'll send Bob your way. He'll swing by. Do you need any tools?
good way to
No,
look
I
at
feel
it.
like he's all right. Okay, send him in.
Got a truck rolling out there.
So you do 3 months of discipleship training prior, right? Or that's where you got started anyway. That was the.
In 2009.
What
yeah.
does that look like? I'm just curious. I mean, actually, we're really looking at some discipleship issues. How does the church disciple people?
Yeah, well, a lot of the things that they focus on there is basic stuff about living your Christian walk. So how do you hear the voice of God? And how do you, just really basic stuff that sometimes I think the church takes for granted that people know, and they just kind of teach, on whatever, and we forget about the basics.
Yeah.
So it really takes you back to a basic. They fly people in from all over the world every week, just people who are like Father Heart of God and all these kind of different topics to really reignite people where they are. And give them a fresh passion for loving the Lord and get them prepared so that when they go out into the mission field that they have something to talk about because they know God at a deeper level.
So a lot of it's relationship based with how to deepen your relationship with.
Yeah, a lot of
it's
that.
more than memorize these 7 chapters or something.
Yeah, definitely. It's because I think you can go to places like Bible college or whatever, and it really hits you at an intellectual level.
Yeah.
Something the DTS does really well is it hits you at your heart level.
Mike is laughing at the intellectual.
I'm trying to understand.
He looked right at me as
I'm
an
trying to
intellectual.
figure out what you got out of Bible college.
You learned how to wear a beach towel.
all I know is that it hit you on a financial level. That's as far as it went.
No, I like this. So this hits you at the heart level. And okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So my DTS changed my life forever, and I guess that's why I'm back there. I don't know.
I really love this concept. Like, it may not be ring true at all, but this service department for missionaries just sounds awesome to me. It just sounds.
You get a tool belt?
We'll get a guy out there. No problem. What we need is a 2-manner. Let's get 2 men on it. All right. We'll send some dudes.
Got a village in Borneo. I need
ladies?
10.
We got ladies. We'll send ladies out there. This is awesome. Actually, I really like that. I like the basis of what you're saying about training. I almost wish we would just do this in general.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And some other religions kind of take a stab at it, with the passing out the pamphlets or, go on some, like the Amish go on their little sabbatical before they decide whether they're coming back or not, right? I feel like we should be doing this for Jesus. Like, look, let's put you through the boot camp before we send you out there and expect you to do anything,
Yeah.
I love this idea.
I like it.
So where was the last place you were at before you ended up back here in Iowa?
Well, I've been traveling around the mainland a little bit, but I was just in Vietnam for 2.5 months. So I went back and I did another school because the YWAM also has a university attached with it, University of the Nations. And so I just took the first course in the counseling department there. So we did 3 months of training and then 2.5 months of outreach. So we got trained on counseling methods, inner healing, a lot of inner healing stuff, the Father Heart of God. And then my team and I went out to Vietnam and did some top secret stuff there because it's a communist country. So.
Right on.
Right on.
So it kind of sounds like you they're kind of taking like a Jesus approach in train, and go.
Yeah.
And then they come back, man,
I wonder where they got that idea.
that is crazy stuff. It'll
Wild.
never work.
Why am
Yeah.
I blown away by this? You don't have donuts or coffee or nothing?
Wait, what?
No band?
No clown ministry? Is there a clown ministry?
No, there might be. I don't know. There's a lot
I don't
of
like
stuff, but
Surely someone
I'm
at least
against
does a radio show.
There has to be some kind of radio show outreach.
They can
There's
hear
no
us in
way.
Hawaii right now.
that's true. I posted it on Facebook, so there may even be viewers from Hawaii tonight.
There you
Whoa.
go.
Did you tag me? It would add like 3 more dudes.
Don't tag me; it'll take away 5.
My mama's on. Go ahead.
Something that YWAM does really well, though, is it meets people at the things that they're passionate at. So there's DTSs and all different things. There's surfing DTS. I did a photography DTS. So it's what are you passionate about and what are you good at and how can you use that to teach people about Jesus.
I feel like there
It's
should be a
awesome.
beating people at Monopoly DTS because that's me.
That's your calling
That's
to
what I
start
do with
one.
my free time.
Sorry, did I miss it? What was DTS?
I don't know.
Discipleship training school.
Okay,
Sorry,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
6-month thing.
Okay, got it.
We
I'm
like
cool with going to the
acronyms.
surfing one.
Yeah, you totally right.
Yes. I'd rock it.
Absolutely.
Let's call him my name.
See how I'm supportive of your ways?
I wonder if they have one for frozen yogurt. They have a great
A
frozen yogurt.
Froyo
place.
DTS.
See, this is why the mainland church can't get anywhere.
Right, exactly.
She's talking about legitimate discipling techniques. We're like, well,
That place
Surfing
is busy
sounds
all
cool.
the time. There's 2 doors. It's just continual flow.
Dan's
I
like
was there on
frozen
the mission
yogurt,
field
and I
doing
want
pre-work.
surfing.
All right. Here's the deal. Frozen yogurt is not the narrow door. That's the problem. It's not the narrow path. It's not the narrow door.
than the ice cream door. Though. It's narrower.
man, I feel convicted. We're not even talking about anything important yet. Dang it.
But boy, that's interesting, and it sounds like a lot of really cool things are happening from that, and it's interesting that the concept of a lot of our churches are simply it's not that people aren't talking. It's not that we're not saying things on Sunday mornings or on Wednesday mornings or in whatever groups we get involved. But the question, like, did we started as if people were halfway down the road as opposed to laying a foundation of understanding who God is, who you are.
Here's the
And then
thing
we don't send them out.
Well, that's the thing. To be fair, though, is like it sounds like the camp's full of Isaiahs. Like, here I am, send me. Not,
Yeah.
hey, let's get you in a corner and berate you until you decide you might go
I'll
out.
make you feel guilty.
Until we're not looking anymore, and then you'll sneak back to your
Are
hiding
you
spot.
sure you don't want to go?
I suppose that's a little different, right? Because I suppose in your any given church on a given Sunday, you might have 10% of "Here I am, send me's," and you have
90% of, I hope they send Jerry.
I don't like Jerry anyway.
But here's the thing. I think that a lot of times people in the church, they just need a challenge. They want to be called higher and they want to be called out, and they're not. And so then they just kind of sit in their complacency.
Do you feel like a stern talking to is helpful?
I think that you should just love people.
Can I do it sternly?
Can
I don't
love
know.
them while I kick them?
Mike, I think you're trying to take the tough love concept way too far.
Now here's the deal. I've never called somebody out via hug. I don't know how to go about
Depends
it.
on how tight the hug. Are you gonna go?
I was gonna say, are we talking bear hug? Because I can do that.
Again?
I'm tired. Go to Rwanda. I'm tired. You said Rwanda, right? I'm sorry. Plane ticket says what? Rwanda.
You owe me $5,200. You want it cost to get to Rwanda?
Either you go or you owe Jesus big money.
No refunds.
I also have a John boat. Good luck.
It's guilt-based discipleship.
This is the problem.
Yeah,
maybe.
You're listening to Live from the Path. We've been talking with Kristin Boscaljon. Lots of interesting stuff. I tell you what, I have some more questions for you. But we're gonna touch on them a little bit later in the show. You guys want to do the quiz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, hold on. Shoot. Let me get it. What? I don't have any music for the quiz.
No.
Dun,
No,
dun,
no.
dun.
Okay.
Quiz show.
Anyway, it's the end of the world as we know it. So here's
It's
the
the
problem.
end of the world.
Here's the problem, chat, is that I can't check on you because the screen that I have to put up this graphic here means that I can't see what you're saying.
Dan can check it.
Yeah. So Dan's gonna have to handle the chat.
I always go to the wrong spot.
Sorry, Dan. You're going to earn your paycheck this week.
All right. So here's the deal.
Is the chat on the YouTube?
It's multiple choice questions, okay? And it's going to say, what do you know about guys that have predicted the end of the world? You guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Question number 1. Which words were found on the egg of a hen in Leeds, England in 1806, leading people to believe it was a supernatural sign of the end of the world? Okay, which words were found on the egg of a hen in Leeds, England in 1806, leading people to believe it was a supernatural sign of the end of the world? A, all will be laid to waste. B, Christ is coming. C, the sky is falling. D, it's over easy. Ready? A, all will be laid to waste. B, Christ is coming. C, the sky is falling. D, it's over, easy. John Buva.
I'm going to go with B, Christ is coming.
Christ is coming. Mike.
Sounds too obvious, Ben. I'm going to have to go with C, the sky is falling.
Chicken Little
Chicken
says
Little.
the sky is falling. Hook, line, sinker.
Going with the last option just because it was the funniest.
Okay, it's over
Punny.
easy for comic sake.
It was funny in a lame kind of way.
It's my favorite kind of funny.
Dan Hudson.
I as well will go B.
B, Christ is coming.
Yes.
The answer is B, Christ is coming. Now,
Good
here's
job, guys.
here's the best part of this story, right? So it's a hoax, obviously. Hens do not lay eggs that say Christ is coming. Here's what's been happening. The woman that owns the hen has been taking the eggs after they were hatched, or after they, not hatched, but after they were laid, okay? Etched the words Christ is coming in it and put it back in the hen.
No.
And then the hen relayed it.
Oh, poor
wow.
hen.
And you thought to yourself, was that worth it?
Yeah.
Could that really have been worth it?
I feel like I'd have to see her genuine reaction when it came back out. Surrounded by like 10 guys and go, look at that. Oh, no. Or
What?
hopefully, oh, yes.
Wait, is that something etched on the side of that egg?
Yeah.
This must have been done by some god we have. It's like, or you did it yourself. That's weird.
That was only 200 years ago, friends.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
Okay, here we go. Next, which famous scientist's prediction that the world would end in 2060 was revealed in 1991, more than 150 years after his death? A, Madame Curie. B, Albert Einstein. C, Sir Isaac Newton. D, Ivan Pavlov. Which famous scientist's prediction that the world would end in 2060 was revealed in 1991, more than 150 years after his death? John Buva.
I'm going to go C, Sir Isaac Newton.
C, Sir Isaac Newton. Mike.
Actually, based on the 150 years, I think it almost has to be Isaac Newton.
Next, Kristin.
Sounds kind of smart, so I'll go with that too.
Isaac Newton, Dan Hudson.
I as well. I had breakfast with him the other day, and the egg had his name written on it. So that's what I'm going with.
All right, which
Dan's doubling down on the lame humor. Thanks, Dan.
scientist that predicted the world would end in 2060 was Sir Isaac Newton.
Yeah.
Okay, so I realized when I wrote that's what I was laughing at when I read the question, is I said was revealed in 1991, more than 150 years after his death. Answer A.
Yeah, it's Madame Curie. I was going to say that. He just kind of throws out Madame Curie, but
Lame. All right, here we go. In 1910, it was predicted that the world would end when the Chicago Yerkes Observatory announced that the Earth would pass through the tail of the Hale-Bopp comet, which contained cyanogen gas. To fend off death, people purchased A, $1 anti-comet pills, B, anti-comet umbrellas, C, gas masks, or D, all of the above. John Buva.
I'm going to go D, all the above.
Mike Foost.
See gas masks.
Gas masks. Kristen.
D, all the above.
All of the above. Dan Hudson.
Yeah, I'm gonna go all the above as well.
The answer, in 1910, it was predicted that the world would end when the Yerkes Observatory announced the Earth would pass through the Hale-Bopp comet full of cyanogen gas. People, to fend off death, purchased all of the above. The $1 anti-comet pill is a genius.
What is that? What is that for inflation? $1 in 1910 has got to be $20 by now.
More than that, I bet.
Do they have an
That's a
inflation calculator on the net?
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out. You do elsewise. I'll figure this out.
Okay.
That's pretty impressive. We could charge a couple $100.
Seriously, though, like, I mean...
Yeah, let's
if
fraudulently take people's money.
They're probably selling them for half price by now, though.
Exactly, that's true.
Discount.
Anti-comet pills discount now that we're past the Hale-Bopp comet.
Here's the thing. What if you didn't take it and, like, someone found it in your house? You would feel foolish for having kept it, like, on the... Like, I would hide that thing directly.
Especially if a meteor was on your bed.
What?
What? If you got hit by one. Because you didn't take it.
Wouldn't have worked.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for turning it over to Dan.
That's my bad. That's my bad.
Would you like to know more?
Here we go. Here we go. Shelby Corbett's book 2007, which pegged the year 2007 as the end of the world, is currently listed as the 6,020,178th most popular book on Amazon.com. Where did she originally advertise her book? A, on bus benches in southern Florida. B, at the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop. C, as paid inserts in church bulletins. D, through radio advertisements featuring a jingle that cleverly rhymed 2007 and heaven. Or E, all of the above. You need the question again?
Nope.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, here we go. Shelley Corbett's book 2007, which pegged the year 2007 as the end of the world, is currently listed as the 6,020,178th most popular book on Amazon.com. Where did she originally advertise her book? A, on bus benches in southern Florida. B, at the Tootsie Roll Center of a Tootsie Pop. C, as paid inserts in church bulletins. D, through radio advertisements featuring a jingle that cleverly rhymed 2007 and heaven. Or E, all of the above. John Buva.
I'm going to go C as paid inserts in church bulletins.
Paid inserts in church bulletins. Mike Foost.
I feel like just because Buva said C, I'm going to have to go with A, bus benches in Florida.
Bus benches in southern Florida. Kristen.
I'm also going with the bus benches.
Bus benches. Dan Hudson.
Me too. It just seems right.
It just if you're going to advertise the 6 millionth most popular book on Amazon about the end of the world, you would advertise on bus benches in southern Florida.
Thanks, John.
Appreciate that one.
That's where I went wrong. My book was just under hers.
Actually, I have a copy of your book in our closet, and my daughter, my 5-year-old daughter Grace, was walking through our closet. She goes, "God's top 10. That sounds good."
Thank you. You can see it on a bus bench
Except for
in northern Iowa.
I said, "Pastor Dan wrote it." And she goes, "Pastor Dan?" I said, "Dan, the pastor at our church, Pastor Dan." "Jared?" I said, "All right, we got.
Who is this man?"
We need you to be Pastor Dan Mormon."
Here we go.
Incidentally, inflation from 1910 to now, $1 equals $23.54.
Wow.
I figured it would have been
Pretty
more.
close.
That's actually fairly cheap to keep you from cyanogen gas.
Yeah.
I'd pay that.
Yeah, I feel like I would too. $23, I could spare that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a chicken dinner.
I'm sorry. I would totally go for the umbrella. I think like that would work a lot better.
Here it comes.
It's like gas coming towards me. Let me get out my umbrella.
Here we go. Final question. Munzer, a leader of German peasants, predicted the world would end in 1526 after he engaged in battle with the towns High and Mighty. Munzer also claimed that God revealed to him that God would catch the cannonballs of the enemy in the sleeves of his cloak. Munzer and his followers died of A, dysentery, B, bites from a parliament of rabid owls, C, starvation, D, wounds attributable to a direct hit by a cannon. John Buva.
I'm going to go with D, wounds attributable to a direct hit by a cannon.
Mike.
I'm really hoping for D as well. I'm gonna hope for D.
That's what I was thinking too. I really wanted to be
Yeah,
D.
D.
D. Dan.
I think you're tricking us. I'm going to say dysentery.
No one went for bites from a parliament of rabid owls. I had to look up what a
group of owls is called, the Parliament.
Heck
I was
yeah.
going to say, really? You knew that a group of owls is called the Parliament?
I had to look it up.
Nice.
So anyway, Munzer, leader of German peasants, predicted the world would end in 1526 after he engaged in battle with the towns High and Mighty. Munzer also claimed that God revealed to him that he would catch the cannonballs of the enemy in the sleeves of his cloak. Munzer and his followers died of D, wounds attributable to a direct hit by a cannon.
I don't know why I'm happy that they
amazing.
died by a cannon, but that's still pretty funny. I'm sorry.
They really believed it. You think when the first two guys went down, they go, wait a minute.
I feel like I'm a pretty tough and strong guy, and if a cannonball was coming at me, I wouldn't be like, okay, I'm going to catch this one.
I'll get this on my cloak.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Open up the sleeve.
you're right.
just
Maybe
like,
after
come on in.
maybe after the first one, he'd be in the midst of his battle cry, saying, "If God is for us, who could?" Wow, he's
Never
against
mind.
Phil. You know what? I felt like me and Phil were about to say him. I'm gonna leave.
Jimmy's chest just shattered into like a billion pieces. I think we're
Here's the thing: is like, do you feel like let's say you really felt that God said you will catch cannonballs in your sleeves? Would you wear like a specialty shirt with bigger sleeves than normal, or is it
With a big target on it?
Is
to
that
help the Lord
Go
out.
get like a huge jersey.
Is
just
it a
wear
lack of faith to get some deep sleeves, or is it like, you know what, regular sleeves? Because God does what He wants.
Exactly.
That way he'll shrink the cannonball.
You're sitting there staring at your sleeve like, really? A cannonball, dude? Like, is that going to work?
I created the earth again. Yeah, this is gonna be it.
How's it going to fit in here with these cannons?
I wore a tank top. What are you gonna do now?
Good
Sorry, God, I don't have any sleeves. Looks like I'm not going to have to stand in front of cannonballs.
It's not that I don't have faith or anything, but I'm gonna take these anti-cannonball pills.
I've got this anti-cannonball umbrella. It's going to work really well.
Turns out the pills are called hiding.
All right, you're listening to Live from the Path. You just participated in what very well could have been the lamest game show ever in the history of.
I feel it's better than some we've made, so it can't be the lamest.
Not the worst.
Okay, second from the bottom. Fair?
It just needs a jingle and it goes up one more.
That's right. It just needs legitimacy. That's the problem. It seems not
Aggressive.
legit. All right. So anyway, you're listening to Live from the Path. You can catch more games like that by going to the website at livefromthepath.org. The last 2 iterations of Secular versus Solomon is out there, and you can play along with special guest Chandler Knutson and Righteous Vendetta. Also, Deuteronomy Dan. There's a Deuteronomy Dan hanging out there.
Deuteronomy Dan.
So the question on Deuteronomy Dan is we give you a biblical law, and you need to decide whether that's from Deuteronomy. Is it actually a law that God laid down, or is it one that Dan made up? Don't
Don't boil the goat in the mother's milk. In the mother's milk. Jesus or Dan?
So anyway, you can go out to the website and play that stuff. Leave a note in the comments as to how you did, or try to sell us pharmaceuticals. We get a lot of comments to that extent.
Absolutely.
There are 1,300 pending comments on the website. Almost all of them wanting to sell us either pharmaceuticals or shoelaces.
Yeah.
Protection from comets?
I was going to say, do they have those new anti-comet pills? Because I might be interested. I heard there's a lot of cyanogen going around, and I want to avoid it.
That's fair enough. Hey, speaking of cyanogen, Life from the Path is brought to you by Eisenhower Team.
Yeah.
Look, if you're looking to buy or sell a house, check out the Eisenhower Team. Go to eisenhowerteam.com. Call Bob Eisenhower. His information's on there on the website, and he can help you. Look, people always say, like, now is a good time to sell a house. Now is not a good time to sell a house. You know when the time to buy or sell a house is? Is when you want to move.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just, I feel like you're not a real estate mogul.
No.
You're not going to time it out, all
You're
right?
just a guy that wants to live somewhere.
If you want to move, call the realtor. And use the Eisenhower Team. Those guys are great. We've had Bob in here a couple times.
I passed a couple houses he sold in, I think it was the Pleasant Hill area just last week. So he's doing what we say he does.
Yeah.
He sells houses.
And he wants to do it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, go to eisenhowerteam.com, and if nothing else, shoot those guys an email, give them a phone call, and say, hey, thanks for sponsoring Live from the Path. We appreciate with their efforts, we're able to stay on the air, so we do appreciate that. Also, Westfield Veterinary Hospital here in Johnston, for all your animal care needs, those are the folks to go to.
They are. Actually, I have personal experience with these fellas. We've taken all our animals there. And here's the thing, like, they're just good at what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, my wife used to be in the veterinary profession, and like, she doesn't just take our animals to anybody. And so, we go to Westfield. We still take our dog out to Westfield. And so, just stop by there in Johnston, and I think their information's out on the website. But go ahead and hook up with them. They're you can trust them. They're good folks, and they do a really good job.
Yeah, and you can look them up on the web by going to westfieldvethospital.com or give them a phone call at 515-986 5738, and check those guys out. Very, very cool. All right, Mike, here's the deal. Let's say you wake up one morning and you hear there's a commotion, a kerfuffle out on your lawn. People are walking on the freshly mowed grass.
No.
And you're like, what is this?
Am I half upset, kind of?
Yeah. I mean, you're just woke up. You're a little confused.
All
And
right.
there's like a rowdiness.
Got
all
it.
right, people are mingling out there. There's a hot dog vendor.
Wow.
And like you look out, and there's 3,000 people on your front lawn. And they've mistaken you for the Pope.
Oh, man.
They think you're the Pope, a non-Catholic Pope.
Not Catholic Pope.
And they say to themselves, we came here to hear from the Pope a piece of advice, something that's like a personal piece of advice from his own life, and we're not leaving his front yard until we get it. What's Mike Foose Pope-style advice?
It's going to be weird, and I don't even know if I agree with it myself. But I was
Great
thinking
buy-in.
about this when I was talking to my daughter, and we just got done reading through Matthew. We're going through our Bible verse by verse, and she's 5. She doesn't get most of it, but it's a good opportunity for me to talk to her about it because she's confused, and so it works out pretty well for me. So anyway, we got to the part where they were talking about the harvest, and Jesus says the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. And I asked her what she thought that meant, and she says, well, it sounds like we need more people to know Jesus, and so we need more people to tell people who don't know him about him. And I said, well, that's exactly what he's going for. That's perfect. And I thought, with that knowledge that she has and the innocence that she has as a child, I'm setting her up to be a better disciple than I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't take in all the worldly stuff that comes to my mind when I think I need to tell people about Jesus. I think, yes, that's what I need to do, but maybe they're not in the right place in their life, or maybe they're going to take it wrongly, or maybe they're going to get offended, or maybe they're going to hate me. All things which I take into consideration. Sometimes heavy, sometimes light, sometimes I don't care, and I do it well. But she doesn't have any of those flags that come up yet. I just said, we need to go out and tell people about Jesus, and she said, okay. And I thought, that's a scary position because I'm creating a disciple that's better than me, and I think that's great. I'm really happy to be a part of that. But it was convicting at one instance, and kind of empowering at the other, right? And I've done this for there's a couple other fellas that I talk to, and they'll ask about some advice about some situations they're going to or their relationship with Christ, and I give them strong biblical advice, right? Which creates a better Jesus work, and then you sit at home doing nothing. But don't be afraid that your sin is blocking your ability to tell people not to do that. Teach them what Jesus taught you, teach them what you've been taught, and put it in the eye of, it's not your job to make copies of yourself, it's your job to make copies of Jesus, is to teach people to be like Christ, love people like Jesus loves people, and obey what God has told us to do. And that's going to come out of your mouth hypocritical every time. Every time it's going to come out because you're a sinner and you're not pulling it off. But Jesus did. And so you tell them what Jesus said and create better disciples than you are. I think that used to stop me. I used to be afraid to give people advice because I think they know that I didn't always follow that.
Your imperfections disqualified you.
Yeah. And that's pretty much Satan just kind of tapping you on the shoulder and going, you're not as useful as you think you are. I mean, Jesus kind of has high hopes for you, but I know the deal. So
He's misguided. I'm a realist.
I heard that dirty word.
But I think you need to push past that. I think you really need to push back, especially with your kids. You know what's coming up for your kids, especially if they go to public school. Even if they don't go to public school, they're gonna get kickback, right? And you think, I can handle it because I'm a grown man. They can't handle it because they're kids. And I don't want to tell them too much because I don't want them getting made fun of. That's a line of crap. Do it. Tell them and send them out there, and they're going to get through it because God loves them and Jesus put them there. And it's not you that's sustaining their life. It's Jesus Christ. And let Jesus do his job. He said he would do it, and he said the workers are few, and he says, I got this thing. So do that. And so that's my Pope-style advice. Don't be afraid to make better disciples than you are.
Bubba, what are your thoughts?
I would agree entirely. I'm actually personally dealing with the same kind of situation, not necessarily with children, but with people that I know that I've been sharing the love of God with. But right now, with my brother, I'm seeing him do things that I wish I was doing right now. And it's completely astonishing me with the stuff that he's been doing, going out and honestly spending some serious time out in the city and doing some disciple work with the local neighborhood. Stuff that he's been saying to me, he's bringing up Bible verses that I have to go to my Bible. I'm just like, dude, I have no idea. Let's look at that together. And, I've been saved for a little while now. He recently just really started getting a relationship with Christ, and he's blowing me out of the water. And he doesn't realize that I tell it to him all the time. And when he first started doing it, I was thinking to myself, am I failing more miserably because of the fact that he's doing better than I am? Should I be in a better place in my walk? Absolutely. I definitely should be. I should always be striving to be a better place in my walk, but I shouldn't let it bring me down too much at the fact that he's blowing me out of the water with stuff. It's always been I bring Christ to his doorstep instead of the other way around. And when he calls me out and he rebukes me on something, I'm just like, wait a minute. Dude, no, I'm the one who does that to you, not the other way around. And I've really had to take a dose of humility about it. Just be like, dude, this is God working in your brother's heart. You need to get out of the way and make sure that you're not hindering him or becoming a stumbling block for him at all in any way, shape, or form. And it's really caused me to take some humility with a lot of stuff that I've been doing lately. But it's been absolutely incredible for me to really see what's happening in his life and then take that and try and apply it in mine instead of just taking it, well, I should be in a better place than he is. So, absolutely, I agree entirely.
And I think it's kind of cool to think that not only can God save a wretch like me, but he can take you and do something like his work with it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing, right? It's God's work through you. It's you alone, under your own efforts, your efforts will not produce a better disciple than you. But because God is working through your life, anything can happen. And you can use something that is not perfect to create other things that are better than that because the work of God is like that. So, I think it's awesome. I like it.
Good stuff, Mike.
Yeah, all right.
Thanks for that Pope-style advice.
Get off my lawn, Boova. It's too early.
Hey, I've heard it. Now
I
I'm
just
going to
woke
leave.
up. I didn't even put pants on.
I've
Please
been
leave.
I've been in line for this hot dog vendor for like an hour and a half, man. I'm getting my hot dog, then I'll leave.
This is not like any pope I've ever known.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't have pants.
I know he wears the robes and everything, but is that a bathrobe or is that?
It's the no pants poop. My biggest fear ever.
Here's the deal. Hey, in case you're looking for something to do in the weeks to come, don't forget about the Pearland Music Festival.
Promised Land Music Festival.
Shoot.
Good thing they're not a paid advertiser.
Yeah, no doubt. So the Promised Land Music Fest, is that this weekend?
It's 12th and 13th.
12th and 13th.
Yeah, that's right. So it's in Ottumwa. It's absolutely free.
Free of charge.
1,000 Foot Crutch is going to be there.
Yep.
A lot of the folks from the show. I think it's Double J's final performance.
Oh, here's the deal. Double J's going to be at the Marion County Fair wrestling on Saturday, and I'm going to watch.
Oh, yeah?
What?
Yeah. Did you know he used to be an amateur wrestler, man?
No, I
Tights
didn't.
and all.
Oh wow.
So he's going.
I did not know
He's
that.
going to be at the Marion County Fair at 5:00 in Knoxville.
I need to call him and see if I can challenge him in front of the whole fair.
Okay. No, it's not about you, Boof. Okay, we're talking about someone else right now.
That'd be fun.
That's legit. What time is it?
It's 5:00. We're going.
Heck yeah, we're going.
Yeah.
Okay, so check him out at the Promised Land Music Fest.
Yeah, definitely.
But he's wrestling at
Yeah,
the County Fair.
I mean, it's great. He's at the Promised Land Music Fest.
I feel like
but
we're definitely going to
seriously.
there.
Both are free?
Yeah, both are free.
Free entertainment this week by Double J.
Maybe after you pay to get in the fair. I don't know what it costs to get in the fair.
Crap.
There's probably other people wrestling too. It's a fair in Iowa. You know
All
what I'm
right.
saying?
Anyway, check that out. I think and Clyde, that's this weekend too.
Yes,
isn't
it is.
And that's at Point of Grace.
And Chandler Knutz is going to be there.
Jada Carnoose is going to be there.
I think Zach's playing.
Swoboda.
Yep.
Zach Swoboda. Okay, cool. So anyway, lots of cool opportunities and lots of folks that have been on the show at those two festivals this weekend. So clear your calendar. Find put the kids in the basement. Take the lady out. Go to a nice music festival.
Yeah. But
kids
use
in the
that
basement?
use that padlock you've been holding on to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, keep 'em in.
Just lock the kids in the basement. Take the wife out for a nice
Hey,
wrestling.
Do you have kids?
No.
Don't be judgmental.
The basement's nice.
Yeah.
It's partially heated and cool.
I cleaned it out after the cow moved out. What's the problem?
All right. Hey, so I had a couple more questions about your YWAM adventures.
All right.
So we were talking just before the show started about $5, and you seem to be able to make your way out and about with $5, pretty much only. So like, tell me the experience. I think people. I think that people can hear stories like yours and they were like, "Wow, that's neat." But I think maybe there's a little bit of an attachment to it. It's like they don't understand. Like really, what do you mean? God is providing. Help me out.
Yeah, totally. This whole year for me has been about learning about God as a provider. So I think anytime anyone is willing in their hearts to say yes to God, that He just wants to take them on kind of crazy adventures. And so I was bored one day and just decided to say yes to the Lord, and He's taken me all over the place. And about a year ago, I was living in Ohio, and He told me to quit my job and go to Kansas City because there's the International House of Prayer there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like He told me to go there and wait for kind of further instructions. And so I was like, okay, I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And just kind of, I think sometimes if we just take God for His word and just kind of step out in faith, he likes to do weird things and crazy stuff. And so I just wanted to see what would happen if I actually did something crazy that I felt like He was telling me to do. So I show up in Kansas City and I have $5 in my pocket, and I don't really know where I'm going to be living or how I'm going to be eating and how long I'm going to be there or what I'm going to do after that. And just kind of crazy, like He provided a place for me to stay. And so I was like, okay, how am I going to spend this $5, So I was walking, I could buy McDonald's, or I could, what's more important, food or shelter? Or am I going to live in a homeless shelter, or what's going to go on? So I was walking a lot, and I really needed a backpack. So I was like, all right, forget the food. I guess I'll just say I'm fasting. I'll buy a backpack. So I go to Walgreens, and they have backpacks there for $5. I'm like, this is perfect. So I walk in, I get the backpack, I go to pay. Well, it turns out that it's 50% off. So it's actually only $2.50. So I got $2.50 left. I'm like, all right. So I'm walking, and then I pass a coffee shop, and that's where I fall into trouble. I'm like, man, cup of coffee sounds super great right now. So I go in, and I'm like, I'm going to use this $2.50 on a cup of coffee. So I pay, and then I walk out, and I look at my receipt, and it was only 60 cents for my coffee. So then I still have $2.10 left. And I'm like, oh, I just remembered I forgot to pack toothpaste. So then I get a ride to the grocery store and I get toothpaste and I spend my $5. And so it's just kind of story of how it all, I mean, I met people on the street that gave me money or gave me food, and just not even because I was asking for it, but just because they kind of offered it because God was leading them to do that. And then I needed a place to stay, and so I felt like God told me to pack my bags and go sit outside this house of prayer and just wait. So I show up at 9 o'clock at night and I order a coffee and I just say, okay. And so I'm sitting there. Around midnight, this lady pulls up in her car and she says, hey, do you need a place to stay tonight? And I was like, yeah, I kind of do. She's like, all right, well, hop in. You can come to my place. Oh. So I hop into her car and go to her apartment. So it's just kind of a lot of stories like that where God provided in crazy ways and cool ways. And as a result, I went from Kansas City to Texas to Washington, D.C. to Hawaii to Vietnam. And here I am. All on $5.
$5. Wow.
That's a stretchy $5.
Yeah.
I look at a 20 and I'm like, oh no.
That's not going to get me anywhere.
I'm going to get nowhere with this $20.
Well, cool. I mean, I suppose, so maybe the question would be, well, I don't know, maybe this is too long of a thing to answer, but, you know, you talked a couple times about, you know, I felt God was telling me, or I heard from God, like, what are those experiences like? Because I wonder if people are afraid that what they think is, you know, maybe from God is just them, or something else.
Yeah, well, I mean, I grew up a Christian my whole life, and I never knew that I could hear God's voice until a few years ago when someone was like, hey, did you know that, it was in my discipleship training school, did you know you can hear God's voice? What? And that was just a new concept to me, and over the years practiced that in small things first, and then it's gradually, as I've grown comfortable with being able to discern, okay, is this me or is this God? But there's certain things that when, you know, you have three voices, you know, the devil and ourself and God, and maybe I'm in like the grocery store and feel like I'm supposed to go pray for somebody, and then, well, that's not Satan.
Yeah, right.
And that's definitely not me, because that's not something I would naturally love to do. Like, oh, hey, I'm going to go talk to a stranger and say, talk about Jesus. Like, who does that? Nobody. But, I mean, so it's kind of that process of every time I think a thought, it's like, all right, well, where is this coming from? Is this from God or is this from me? And how does that make sense? And the just years of practicing that, and it's become a point where God is just my friend. And so I talk to him about everything, and he tells me jokes, and kind of, I don't know if people think that is weird or not, but it's...
Are they funny? I'd hope they're funny.
Well, he made me, so he knows what I think is funny. So I think they're hilarious. You probably wouldn't like them, but...
You're a curmudgeon, Mike.
He talks to me sarcastically and harshly. That's how Jesus loves me.
You're Job.
You're ugly.
Like, thanks, Jesus.
I know you are. I made you.
You know just what I need.
You're the joke. Just look at you.
Knock, knock. Who's
Mike
there?
Foos.
I think that's really hard thing though to really discern when is it you, when is it God. You know, just the other day I was driving by a group of people that were on the side of the road that I thought, boy, they look like they're in trouble. And I thought, well, that's too bad for them, you know. And I went on home, and the whole way home I'm thinking, I really think I'm supposed to go back there, and you know, I kind of fight it. I thought, I'll just go back there. And it turned out they really did need help. I mean, they needed help that I happened to have in the back of my car. They needed a bike rack. That's your dad's bike rack. That I was able to take them across town that never could have made it because a tire broke, you know, and that type of thing. And it was like, it truly was a God thing. And I kind of, you know, sometimes you fight that. And sometimes I wonder, have I missed opportunities? But then I don't know sometimes if it's just me saying, you know,
that's perfect though. That's just like the Jesus or the service missionary point. Like, hey, you need somebody with a bike rack? I got a guy in the area, Hudson. I need to turn around.
Exactly.
He happens to be across the street. I mean,
CB radio dispatcher, just like, hey, Hudson, we need you to go take care of these guys.
That guy's young. He's part of YWAM.
Nothing makes me more excited than Jesus being the dispatcher of heaven. Yeah, okay, hold on. I got Hudson over there over by Johnson. Send Hudson around.
And when you're
lower
part of that,
Beaver,
you really
he'll be there
feel
in
like
2 minutes.
You really feel like you're doing something that God is doing, you know,
Definitely.
rather than just, hey, I think I'll go to Texas. I mean, you know, you're doing something that, even though you don't know what it is, I have no idea what I did with these people. It's just a simple little one-night thing that I did. But I still felt like somehow God was involved with that.
But I think when we hear those little promptings and we respond to them, what an opportunity to open, that people open up and you get to share the gospel. Just because it so happened that you were in the right place with the right things, and it just opens up these doors all the time to be able to share God's love with people. Yeah. I think that's kind of the point.
I had that happen before once, actually. I change batteries sometimes for my job, and so I happened to have one in the back of my truck, and I was traveling along, and I met this guy at the truck stop, and he's like, hey, do you know anything about cars? And I drive a big vehicle for my work, and I thought, well, I better say at least I know something, because it looks like I do with this vehicle. And so I said, sure, I'll take a look at it.
I like the red ones.
He said, I think my alternator's going out. And so I got my stuff out, and I said, yeah, I think you're right. I said, how far away do you live? He goes, about 40 miles. I said, I tell you what, I got a battery in the back of my truck. It's pretty much brand new. Let's put it in, and we'll get you home on that. I'll get you 40 miles. He goes, really? You don't want nothing for it? And I thought, you know what? Jesus gave it to me, and he says you're getting it. So there it is. Congratulations. He goes, well, how do I get this battery back to you when I get home? I said, I don't know. He talked to Jesus about it. I'm not sure what he wants you to do with it. I just know that you're getting it. And he was like, okay. I said, okay, see ya. And we put it in, and I assume he got home. He never called me. So I assume he dealt with Jesus.
Got stuck with a $100 deposit fee.
Just probably sitting on his front yard to this day, and he stares at it and goes,
what do I do with this thing?
Killing my grass.
Jesus burdened me with his battery. I don't know what to do with it.
Jesus, man, attracts grubs.
Birds of the air, lilies of the field don't have to worry about this dumb battery. Look what God gave them. Okay, you're listening to Live from the Path. But Mike, people need help.
Yeah, they do. This one's the start of the heavy one.
Okay.
Ready? Dear Live from the Path. At what point is a relationship with a member of the opposite sex considered cheating? I have recently discovered that my husband was having a more than friendly relationship with a coworker. He set up a post office box for her so she could write to him while she was away.
That's cheating. Sorry.
Yeah, he's crossed the line.
I'll wait.
Hold on. There's more.
Sorry.
But wait.
I found her letters and read them. They described how she missed my husband and couldn't wait to feel his arms around her and his lips on hers again. She says she had shown her what real true love can be. She's 12 years younger than he is. My husband said, wait a minute.
I don't know. I think it sounds innocent so far.
Just friendly banter. My husband says they never had sex, but did kiss on several occasions, and he enjoyed their deep, open conversations. He's a jerk. Because my husband is not a big conversationalist, this has been very hard for me. The idea that he had meaningful conversations with this woman hurts me more than the physical things they admit to. He says it's not actually cheating if they never slept together. I say, with everything he has admitted to and the fact that he has opened up to her in ways I have begged him to with me, he has definitely cheated. This is the second time in our 16-year marriage this kind of thing has happened. Obviously, his definition of cheating is not the same as mine. I say an emotional affair is almost as worse than a physical one. He sees cheating as sex only.
He's done that too.
Yeah, exactly. He's definitely with this woman in his heart.
Repent. Get back to Jesus.
Dan says the physical thing is there as well. Like not just in your heart.
He's admitted to what has been found out.
He's done it.
Yeah.
Either way, yes, he's
right.
Yes.
No, that's ridiculous.
He's crossed the line.
He's opening up to this woman more than he is with his wife. He's doing multiple things, setting up a PO box.
Yeah,
so
if it wasn't a problem, why didn't you just have it sent to your place?
Yeah, exactly. If you thought it'd be okay for it to be sent to your home, you wouldn't have been worried about it being cheating at all. The fact that you're taking precautionary measures, the fact that you have a more open relationship with this woman who's not the woman you've committed your life, your body, your spirit to, that's ridiculous. If you don't think that's cheating, you're a joke.
Yeah, he needs a man up.
Yeah. I've been on these tentacled covenants where you can spring out and kind of tickle anything you want to.
Maybe.
Yeah, this guy's a raven doofus.
He is.
I can't take him.
Here's the thing: is like if you're gonna be this kind of guy, you could at least be good at it. He's not even good at it. He's been busted for it twice in 16 years. I mean, you think that people are not gonna find out about a PO box? It's just weird. That's just weird behavior. Here's you want to hear secular's advice here?
Yeah.
You want to get on this thing, Boscaljon?
You're doing a great job.
Are you disgusted? Everyone seems disgusted.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're disgusted. Here we go. Secular says, when someone gets a post office box so that he or she can carry on a furtive romantic correspondence, it is definitely cheating. When he kisses and embraces someone in a romantic fashion, that's cheating too. When he confides his deepest feelings to a woman other than his wife, what he does is widen the gulf between them. I would have called that cheating as well. On the deepest levels, your husband has been unfaithful to you. It appears he has perfected the art of lying to himself. Obviously not. He's terrible. In order to justify his behavior. My heart goes out to you. Well, thank you. That's some very good advice.
I say we take him behind the shed.
You want my real advice?
Yeah.
Find a good Jesus man that you trust and really loves Jesus and send him over there. And it may get physical. It may be brass knuckles Deuteronomy. You know what I'm saying? Leviticus. Is it wrong to carry brass knuckles with Bible sayings on them? So after you thwomp them,
It's got John 3:16 on it backwards, so when you hit him in the head.
If you put John 3:16, people are going to pass right by it. You got to put something. You got to put Romans in there. You got to put something that they got to look up because everyone knows John 3:16. You put Leviticus 21:7.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, beefsteak, what the heck happened to you?
Beefsteak.
And what's that verse about?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Romans 3:23.
No,
What's that?
no. Brass knuckles are out.
Okay, no breast knuckles for Jesus. Fair enough. Here we go.
So in on this.
Dear Life from the Path. I was seeing a therapist for several years. I began going because of abandonment and trust issues. Over time, we became friends outside of therapy, talking to each other several times a week. I trusted her completely. During our therapy sessions, she shared her life and problems with me to the point that I feel I know as much about her as she knows about me. A couple of months ago, she suddenly decided that ethics had been breached and she was setting new boundaries. She said there would be no contact outside our sessions, but during the sessions, she would say how much she missed me and thought of me as a daughter, and she would cry. Wow. Now she has decided that she can no longer be my therapist. She has blocked my number and expects me to respect her demands. I know you can't speak for her, but is this normal behavior for a mental health therapist? I no longer trust therapists. Confused in Texas.
That's understandable for you no longer trust therapists. You went for abandonment issues, and the therapist abandoned you. Like, what are you expecting if
I'm
it's
sorry,
just
that's
like,
not funny.
I have some serious abandonment issues. You know, I had this happen, and this happened, and this happened. I can't stand it when people just push me out and throw me away.
Don't
well,
contact
you know what
me.
I'm going to do is I'm really going to pull you into my life. I'm going to let you into my life story. We're going to make it really close. But then I'm going to decide that it's too close, and I'm going to leave you. Is that cool? Yeah, let me pay you a couple $100 a session for that. We'll get this taken
Maybe
care
it's
of.
some sort of radical treatment.
We're going to
I'm with
foster
you on
more
that. I think
abandonment
so.
issues in you to fix you.
Yeah, actually, I'm
Child
on board with
psychology
it.
thing.
Radical psychology is we're going to foster more abandonment issues
Yeah, well, either
to
it's
fix your abandonment
actually,
issues.
either it's a legitimate attempt to solve their problem through something I can't understand, or the therapist is a lunatic.
It seems like the therapist is a loon.
Okay, here, I haven't said anything completely, offensive yet today. So
Right, so here it comes.
My personal experience of people in college generally going for the counseling degrees, going through that track, every one of them needed counseling themselves. That's why they were there. So they tend to be messed up people who go in trying to fix themselves so they can fix other people, which is can be a healthy thing because they can relate.
That's the gospel, Dan. Fix yourself so you can fix other
Well,
people.
yeah, in a spiritual sense, yes. We're talking on two different paths, though.
Yeah.
I
like
in the
that.
gospel, I completely agree with you there.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, that's the person's messed up.
You're right. That's mildly offensive.
Mildly offensive to the entire.
I can see how that can be
to
taken to
people
the
that,
entire
you know-
psychiatric community.
Now hold on a minute. I feel like the lady writing in could possibly be a loon, and she's cutting ties because she's clingy.
So, well, that would mean that
She has abandonment issues, so she overclings.
There's like
People-
movies about that,
right,
isn't there?
but for me to believe that that's the situation, I would have to believe that she's been lying about everything. She had to have been lying about the therapist crying.
Yep.
Therapist. Oh, you think that she
She
lied
probably
about?
had soming in her eye that day, a bee.
She had
A
a bee in her eye,
Or
which caused her
part
to
of
start
part of an
tearing
old
up.
Henry.
Part of an old Henry in her eye. She started crying, and the person who was going to therapy mistook this for emotion being shown.
Hey,
Could
do
have
you
been she was making supper, doing the onions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just terrible.
Do you have kids, Buffa? Don't
Why
judge.
does this come to
Don't judge.
I feel like I need to have kids now just so I can
That is a
judge.
terrible reason to have kids.
All right, fair enough.
I need the kids in a basement. Otherwise, I
kids in
haven't
the
lived
basement.
life.
Okay, I can judge
The guys in life in the past said this is cool, sweetheart. It's okay. We're gonna lock them in there.
And I kind of want to know Henry.
And I'm really jonesing for some onions and an old Henry.
So she wasn't really asking advice. So her question was, "Is this normal behavior?"
No.
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 I don't know. I don't know that it's not. God has not worked this out for your betterment. When you say I don't trust therapists, I think you're solid.
Go to a Christian counselor. That's what I tell everybody.
Yeah. Let's get you on a Bible reading track. Let's surround you with Jesus' people, and let's get you to a Christian counselor that you can at least say, "Hey, that's not biblical, man," and then you can leave because
Yeah.
you know it ain't right. Right.
Yeah.
So
If they're not pointing you to Jesus, they're messed up.
tell him, Dan.
Yeah.
You want to hear secular's advice?
Yeah,
here?
make it quick.
Secular says, no, it's not normal behavior. It is highly inappropriate. Your therapist appears to have had as many or more unresolved emotional issues than you did. By ending your sessions together, she has done you an enormous favor. Score. While you may not trust therapists, it may require the efforts of another one to help you work through this. When you go for your initial interview, be sure to tell the therapist what was done to you.
A parliament of therapists.
Here's $300.
We need a
I don't
gaggle of
trust you.
therapists.
All right, you're listening live from the Path. We're coming to you from 99.3 KTIA. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to have to let you go. If you'd like to be actually a part of the show, take part in the live chat, or listen to the rest of the content, you can pick it up on the podcast or listen to it every Monday night at 10 o'clock on livefromthepath.org. Thanks for listening. Have a good week. That's going to make the cut right there, boys. Go ahead. Do more.
Okay, here we go. Dear Life from the Path. This one will touch your heart, Booba.
Oh.
I am
It's
a
about
single
kids.
mother struggling with my 12-year-old daughter. You can relate.
Yep.
For the last 3
I've
months,
got kids.
Single mother.
she has been withdrawn, uncommunicative, rude, mean, and treats me with contempt.
She's 12.
So far, this sounds pretty on the up and up. We have been in counseling, mistake number 1, and are going.
I was
back
abandoned.
again, and we're going back again. Mistake number 2. But
I'm really connected with the counselor.
I can't ask people to stay with her while I go and recharge my spirit because she's so rude to them as well.
I'm sorry. This kid is so rude.
Here's the deal. I'm overwhelmed and I need to recharge my spirit, and I just can't do it with your mouth running. Hold on. Don't belittle her.
Okay.
I need to know, Live from the Path, what do other parents do to make it through this incredibly painful period in the lives of their teenager and themselves? Okay, that's a legitimate question.
Discipline.
Okay.
Discipline?
Yeah.
No.
You're still the parent. I don't care. You're the parent.
I don't even
Shut
care.
up.
You recharge that spirit. Don't put up with that business. Give him $5. Say, see what the Lord gives you. Get outside.
I don't care. She's 12. She doesn't know more than you do yet.
Yeah, Dan says discipline. Use what's remaining in your spirit for physical violence.
Now, you interpreted it that way. It could be.
That's what
physical
my dad
violence.
says discipline was.
Okay, here's the thing. Stop letting a 12-year-old bully you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like, don't, and this is true for anybody, right? Do not let people bully you. Do not let other people's bad behavior suck the energy or spirit or whatever it is she's talking about out of you.
All right, let's do it. I'll be the 12-year-old.
Okay?
Go ahead. You're the mom. Tell me to stop being so rude.
Stop being so rude.
No.
Okay? You will not suck the energy out of me.
Go live with your dad.
I'm taking the car.
You don't know how to drive, and I have the keys.
Not for long. Well, pow. That was violence.
Yeah, you're right. You got me. I mean, here's the thing. It's like, the relationships like that can be extremely frustrating, especially when people you love are acting that way, right?
Yeah.
It's not so much it's somebody else that you don't know, don't love, haven't raised is acting like that, doesn't have near the impact on the kid that you brought up that's acting like a real jerk, and you know that they're harming themselves,
Right.
and they're moving on a bad path, and that will suck the energy out of you. I get that. But the thing is like, they're still the kid, you're still the adult. You know, you only lose energy. People can only take energy away from you that you're willing to give them, or like
Right.
that you're willing to give it away. So like, you know, yeah. I mean, just guard that. Don't let a 12-year-old get into you so much that it can completely drain you. I mean, that's true for everybody.
Absolutely. You know, I'm an extremely jovial, not the heavy kind of guy. I'm not the, iron fist dad at home. But the second they start crossing that line, I mean, it lasts about a half a second. And it's like, bam, we're shutting this down. It's like, no, I'm not going there. Yeah, because it's a choice. You've still got to be you're the parent, and yeah, you can't do that.
Being a single mother myself of having a 12-year-old girl, I would agree with that. On all accounts, honestly, you're the parent, she's the child. Hopefully to this point, and I'm not saying that this would immediately fix the problem, but hopefully to this point you've fostered the child knowing that you're the parent, you're the adult, there to respect and honor you no matter what. And obviously I understand that all kids are going to be disrespectful. I can speak from experience that I was probably a terrible kid. Mom and dad, really sorry. But using the discipline itself, the kids should know that if they're being rude, there's going to be consequences.
Okay, well, hold on a second. I do have a question though. It's like, we're talking about this. What are you gonna do? Check this out. In the summertime, I drive home to my house from Johnston to Bonnarant. Okay, I turn down the road that's 1 block away from my house. Almost every day, there's this doofus 14-year-old kid standing in the middle of the road. refuses to move.
Yep.
Right? He just goes stand there. I can't do anything about that kid. You can't punch a kid who's 14. I can't spank him.
Oh, you can't?
I can't yell at him. Right? Like if the kid already has no respect for you and is being rude, you say, well, you know, enforce the discipline. But like, you have to have run into one of those kids that's in that age range where like they simply do not care. They don't care.
Yeah.
We have created these monsters. I mean, my wife works at a school, and they know they can't do anything. That's absolutely what they are.
That's Pastor Dan at Pathway. Pastor Dan.
We have created
Our
those
society
monsters.
has created these monsters. We can't spank them. We can't discipline them. We can't say no. We have to reason with a little 5-year-old who wants to have 16 cookies. You know, it's like, no, you're not going to have 16 cookies. You know, why? Because, well, it's unhealthy. You know, shut up. You know, I mean, it's just
the basement?
insane.
This is why my kids don't know Pastor Dan.
Bring the little children to me.
Let me break out
No.
my trusty padlock and take care of this
Jesus
situation.
says, don't keep them away from me. Bring them to me. Dan says, bring them over here. I'm ready.
It's the parents that say no. What? Bring the little children.
You know what's kind of sad is like being in counseling, like it does leave open the possibility that she simply has not been a parent figure, and so you go to a counselor because you're trying to find
being
someone
her
that you
friend.
can agree on is a legitimate authority, which stinks, right? Because that's unhealthy as it is. That means you can't
My
solve your own
12-year-old friend
problems.
isn't helping me rejuvenate myself. It's like,
No, that's true. And she may have created some of this problem by, I think you're right, leaning too much on the child as if she's the better half, right? Like you can always regulate, and Jesus does the same thing. He gives some of his power to his kids, right? But he retains it as the sovereign Lord, and he's in charge of it. You know what I'm saying? And so
It's still his authority.
Yes, it's still his authority to delegate and decide what he's going to do with it, and it never becomes yours. Even if you take on the characteristics of Jesus Christ, you're still not him. You know what I'm saying? And same thing goes with especially single parents. This happens. This tends to happen where you do have to share some power to live in a household with two people, and neither one of you have anyone else to lean on, right? So you can't take the Napoleon authoritative role against your child. You kind of have to walk through this life together with them, but you ultimately pull the strings of how that family works. And as soon as you give up that position, you're gonna have a real hard time getting it back.
Right.
And I think that's probably what's going on.
Because in honesty, I mean, there needs to be clearly defined boundaries and clearly defined consequences for crossing the boundaries. I mean, if you're just doing it on, reacting out of anger, that doesn't help anybody. That's hurting a relationship. It's not helping anybody. So, a 12-year-old has certain things that she values. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a cell phone. Maybe it's a night out with friends, whatever. You got to decide what you're taking away, but you got to take something away. There has to be a consequence to that kind of behavior.
I don't care. Go ahead and take it.
I live in the basement my whole life with the cow.
I don't know. Here's the thing: is I think in my experience with my kids that works because generally speaking, my kids respect me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna take that away. He's like, oh no, Dad's gonna take that stuff away.
Because they know you will.
Right. But I think there's probably also a point where like a lot of that is established with they care whether their parent is upset with them. They care like that the person who has authority that they had safety in is also like that there's an issue with that. I think there's probably a point in which like saying, hey, discipline your kids. You might actually be a little far down the road to be just start like taking steps and feel like that's going to do anything.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
And that stinks. It's great that you're trying that, but like that advice probably isn't so easy in those circumstances because that doesn't change what has happened over like the X number of years and what may be influencing that behavior in the first place.
Yeah, I probably spanked my children maybe twice. I mean, I didn't have to. I wanted it to be memorable, not abusive, but memorable, and then so that I could next time say, here's the consequences. And it wasn't out of anger. It was like it was actually they remember this. It drives them crazy because I said, well, here if you do this, here's spanking, blah blah blah. They did it, and I said, well, come on, let's go. And we just calmly walked in the other room, and I said, now, are you ready? It was just like, it was so, the anticipation was worse than anything.
Yeah.
And I did like 2 whacks, whatever. And then they were like, that came back fine, a couple minutes later, and we hugged, that's okay. But then I didn't have to do it again.
Yeah.
Because they knew it was going to happen. Not it wasn't a threat. It wasn't an empty, I'm going to get you. It was like, no, here's the deal.
It will happen.
Cross the line, and this is what happens. Just don't cross the line.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean,
seems easy.
yeah. They didn't get in trouble for being human. They didn't get in trouble for doing something, silly. People that because we're human, know. Rebellion is what they got in trouble for. And anyway, that's.
Kristin, there's been a lot of man advice here. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that if she's a single mom, then the man is usually the father's usually the disciplinarian, right? And so that's probably missing in the family environment. The family structure is the dad who comes and lays down the law. So it's probably, it's hard raising a kid on your own as a single woman. So I'm sure she's.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, she's doing the best she can, I'm sure, but
This is funny. We gave no compassion towards the mom situation.
That's what I'm
All
here
three
for.
of the dudes said, here's the deal. You didn't do it right when they were born.
I'm listening to this now. I'm like, oh crap.
Spankings every Friday.
That's a really good point. This is half a home right now.
That's true. It was kind of based upon the assumption that I don't. It was kind of a dude's advice to a dude who wasn't keeping
here's
up his
the
end of
deal.
the bargain.
If the question would have been, I'm a single dad, our advice would have been spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, the stress level is higher in a single family. So there's all kinds of things going against her.
yeah.
But she still has to be the mom.
What was secular advice, Mom?
I don't know. I don't care. I skipped it.
Okay.
Here we go.
It was wrong.
Last one.
Okay, dear Life from the Path. My husband and I are the proud parents of a beautiful 4-year-old twins. After years of infertility, we found out that my husband has a low sperm count. Hey.
I feel like this is going to be an unnecessary detail that's embarrassing for the man.
Zip it.
Go ahead.
Additionally, I have very few eggs. Ultimately, we conceived our miracles with IVF and with the help of a sperm donor. We do not want to keep this a secret from our children. We want them to eventually know, understand, and be proud of the journey it took to bring them into this world. However, my husband and I are very private people. We understand that once the dialogue with our children begins, others will naturally find out. My husband still feels very uncomfortable discussing his condition. How do we explain it to our children, friends, and family without becoming the focus of gossip and whispers?
She could just show him the newspaper article where the question's printed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's why I wrote to the national media about your problems.
What do you think about this?
Don't tell your uncle. He's still in the know.
So I don't know how I would react in the personal situation, but I know how I would react right now. To be 100% honest, you're with the woman that you love. You've committed yourself to this woman. You have 2 kids so far. If your friends know about this situation, it's not the biggest deal in the world. If it's the situation where you want your kids to know the situation, here's what happened, here's how, we conceived you and we became your parents, but you're worried about, your neighbors and people in the community and family members knowing about it,
You got the fact that it wasn't the dad, right? They got a sperm donor.
Right. No, I understand that entirely. I don't know why that would be such a big... in my mind, I don't see how that's such a big deal for your family and friends to know.
It's a
if they're
pride
your honest
issue.
family and friends, it's just like... And that's the thing, is your
Yeah.
pride's
I'm not
getting in the way
perfect.
of it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just my thought on it, is the fact that I think that's ridiculous to have that much pride where you're worried about that. I might find myself in that situation if that ever happens to me, but right now where I'm standing, I don't see where your pride should be getting in the way, and I don't see why you're even making a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
If they're your real friends and your real family, it shouldn't be a point of judgment upon you. It should be, that happens. The Lord deals in a lot of different things, but luckily through this situation and this situation, you got 2 beautiful kids out of it. Make sure you're the father of those kids. Have a great life.
Yeah.
Everybody's silent.
Why do I feel like you're brewing something?
Yeah, it totally looks like you are brewing something. Do you disagree with me entirely?
No.
No?
That's like me being embarrassed because I had blue eyes and I really wish I had brown eyes. I really had nothing to do with that. I was born how I was born.
You had everything to do with getting a sperm donor, though.
Well, right, because I wanted to have a child.
So,
And
the
that
blue
area
eye example is not exactly a dead ringer, is it?
That's why I didn't use an example. I couldn't think of one that would correlate with that.
Your
directly.
daughter looks Asian. And well,
But that's actually the kind of the route I was, I guess, thinking. Like, if it's a sperm donor, you're essentially adopting. You're adopting.
really. You're
and so-
adopting half.
Yeah, and so look, it's an adoption. You don't have to call it that, but like,
Sorry.
tell 'em.
I'm sorry, the visual on that is way weirder. I don't know, like going through the process and they hand you like the cup of the stuff and they're like, here, congratulations. I know, it's just weirder. It's weirder than a normal adoption process. All right.
That's 'cause-
I just want to get worked up on what he's considering a defect and embarrassment of that. It's like I was fearfully and wonderfully made by my Creator, exactly how He wanted me. whether I have big ears or long thumbs or whatever. It's just how I am. It's just doesn't
made to go.
It does not define me.
Take your pride and take your joy in the fact that you're a son of Christ.
Yeah,
that's the situation. You're a son of the Creator of this universe.
Exactly.
That's where you should get your love and your pride, and where you should.
And he didn't make a mistake. He was like, "Oh, I really wanted to make it so you could have kids, but man, I couldn't trust you." I mean, it's just how it's just.
Yeah.
Actually, that sounds completely legitimate. Something God would do. I wanted you to have kids, but I can't trust you. So, quick.
That's why I'm not God.
Yeah, God makes those decisions. Absolutely.
Seems like the population cut off.
I open wombs.
That's
I
weird.
shut wombs. Click. Yeah, actually, I'm kind of along the same lines as y'all. I guess I feel like here's the deal. It depends on where you're getting your source from. I agree with that. If you're pulling your confidence and your basis from your life, from your family, that's not a bad thing. But you're idol worshiping. You're putting that in front of Jesus, right? And so, if you look at it in the terms of adoption, you're basically saying, look, I get the opportunity to raise one of God's children to His glory and my joy. I don't care how it got here. Adoption, birth, whatever. It doesn't matter how these kids came into my life or how God delivered them to me. I get to raise some of God's children for His glory and my joy, and that's an amazing and humbling opportunity. I don't care how it happened.
Yeah.
What was the secular advice?
Okay, I didn't throw that one away. Just a second. Calm down. Don't yell at me. Secular says, infertility among couples is no longer a deep, dark, or shameful secret. And the fact that you needed help to have your children shouldn't generate gossip or whispers because, frankly, it isn't shocking or titillating anymore. You guys find that true? Dan, you've seen that happen in your lifetime. Was it kind of shameful back in the day?
I never thought of it as... We went through fertility treatment stuff.
I certainly don't think of less of you because of it. I mean, you've made worse choices with your haircut.
Exactly. People are always like, boy, 7 years between your kids, that's weird. It's like, well, yeah, 2 of them died. Is that okay? I mean, they did. Then they're like,
yeah, you know it right.
What are you talking about my business for?
Is that okay with you? Man, that's fierce.
Dan Hudson laying it
The coolest
heavy.
answer ever, Dan.
It was painful.
You have every
Yeah,
right
no
to
doubt,
you.
right? Here's the thing. I have never respected Dan Hudson more than that statement right there. I think that's solid. All right, Mr. Busy Nose. Here's the deal. You want to go through this with me again? Nice call. Okay, anyway. When your children are old enough to be told the facts of life, they can be told they were conceived through in vitro fertilization. They do not have to be told every detail all at once. That's a mistake.
Those are 2 pretty big bombs at once, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's the birds and the bees, by the way.
Here's your test tube.
Now that you know how this works.
Here's your daddy. Pyrex, we call him.
Yeah. Where do babies come from? Well, they come from when a tube is put. It's like
Another man.
When a tube loves, whatever.
Talk to my single mom friend, Troy. He can help you.
I'll help you out.
When they are older, they may ask questions about why it was necessary, and when they do, their questions should be answered honestly and in an age-appropriate manner.
The chat says Dan's a jerk.
Why am I a jerk?
No.
No.
I think that's solid, Dan.
What did I do?
Here's the deal.
I'm the victim here.
I'm very proud of Dan Hudson today.
Yeah.
I feel like
Absolutely.
I feel like I just want to hug
I
him.
have actually said that.
I'm not gonna do it, but
Just like-
I love it. I love it. That's definitely the way I answer.
Well, it depends on their tone of voice when they're asking why. They're like, "Oh, you guys are kind of stupid going 7 years between children." Well, yeah, we had 2 die. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah. Sorry to inconvenience you with the 7-year difference, unknown man.
if it's a general conversation, it's like, "Well, yeah, it's kind of worked out."
It's exactly right. I mean, it's an appropriate response for an appropriate inquisition. Like if a guy's like, and then you say, and then now you're on the same level.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Good one.
Great stuff there, Mike.
I work on a radio show. I talk for a living.
All right. Once again, you made the mistake of listening to Live from the Path. We're on here every Monday
Sorry
night
about that.
from 10 to 11 p.m. at livefromthepath.org, or you can catch the show on 99.3 KTIA Saturdays at 7. You can also catch us during the week at livefromthepath.org. You can watch clips from the show, including the past
You
games.
can download the podcast. Ben will have it posted tonight.
Oh, man, I may or may not have it posted tonight. Anyway, you can catch those other clips from the show. Enjoy those, and also frequent our sponsors. Go hit up Westfield. I mean, even if your cat looks fine, he might be sick.
You might have
Ask
aphids.
Dr. Dog.
Have you seen an aphid?
No, that's right. You can't see them. They're the silent attacker.
They hide in orifices. You
Take-
don't want to be in there.
Take him to the Westfield. It's a
him to the
mistake. I don't know how you can be so heartless. Take your cat in.
My grandpa had aphids. Bad business.
And also, the Eisenhower team, don't mix up the two. Please don't take your aphid-filled cat over to Bob Eisenhower. He don't want anything to do with it. And the guys at the Westfield can't sell your place. Thanks for listening. Have a good week.
Whispering to me, with you I'll never be the same. Lost and lonely, out of time, out of reason, out of rhyme, I run. Yes, I run. Yes, I to you. I hear you calling out my name. With you I'll never be the same. Lost and lonely, out of touch, out of season, out of luck, I run. Yes, I run to you. Yes, I run to you. You're all I know, you're all I see, all I feel's your love for me. You are my strength, you are my peace, eternally you care for me. Yes, I run to you. Yes, I run to you. Yes, I run to you. Yes, I run to you.
Quietly, I'm standing by, wishing that you would hear
There are things keep pushing me, twisting me, breaking me. I need you here to comfort me. Hear me, please. Set me free. Won't you hear me? Heal me. You know I'm reaching out to you. So
These days, it seems you can get anything on demand, like the music you're listening to right now on Spotify. Did you know you can even get postage on demand at Stamps.com? It's like having a post office right on your desk. With Stamps.com, you can buy and print U.S. postage for letters or packages using your computer. Never go to the post office again. And now, Spotify listeners get a special offer, including free postage. Click on the banner or go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone, and type in Spotify.
Covering, I'm gonna wear your robe. I'm gonna wear your righteous mane everywhere I go. You're gonna light my candle, son. You're gonna make it shine. You're gonna lead me to the throne. I'm gonna testify. I am a working man. I get things done. Work for the Holy Ghost. Work for the Son. I am a working man. Oh yes, I am. I am a special agent of the Lamb. Yeah. City child, I was born in the north. I was born in the autumn time. Lord only knows wherefore. I was born when leaves turn red, born when things are dying. But I was born with a big old mouth. I am a working man. I get things done. Work for the Holy Ghost. Work for the Son. I am a working man. Oh yes, I am. I am a special agent of the Lamb. Every day I got to get things done. Every day I got to get things done. I am a working man. I get things done. Work for the Holy Ghost. Work for the Son. I am a working man. Oh yes, I am. I am a special agent of the Lamb. I am a working man. I get things done. Work for the Holy Ghost. Work for the Son. I am a working man. Oh yes, I am. I am a special agent of the Lamb. Said do 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 do. Na 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 na. La 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 la. Hey, 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 that's how we get things done. Whoa, I am a working man, working man. Yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. I said whoa, 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 whoa. Said whoa, whoa, whoa. Said whoa, 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 whoa. I am a working man, working man. Whoa, old man Jonah sitting in his chair, got no teeth and he got no hair. He got no daughter and he got no son. He just waiting till the rapture come. I said he waiting till the rapture come. We never didn't bury and he never went far. Never bought a house or a big old car, but he ain't no beggar and he sure ain't dumb. He just rapture come. I said he wait until the rapture come, and when the rapture come, Lord gonna call out his name. Jonah gonna put down his cane. Heaven gonna call him away, but until that day, old man Jonah got an old brass horn. He's had it since the day that he was reborn, but he ain't gonna blow for this anyone. He's gonna wait till the rapture come. I said he wait until the rapture come. And when the rapture come, Lord gonna call out his name. Oh, Jonah gonna put down his cane, and heaven gonna take him away. But until that day, preacher come walking down that country mile. He said, hey Joe, you know it's been a while, but Jonah keep his eyes on the setting sun. He just wait until the rapture come. I said he wait until the rapture come, and when the rapture come, Lord gonna call out his name.